Alright, so I just bought the Epic Divinate Op box in the bootleg Greywater market, and I didn't even notice that the box actually gives you a shimmer epic as well. It's not just the 3 usual type, you can actually also pick a shimmer epic. So this changes a lot of things, because previously this box I would probably just go for Emma. So with this little change, you actually want to use these boxes very wisely, not just because of this box. With this box you can pick like the shimmer epics, right? Because the shimmer epics in the gold record and in the divinate pool, they have a lower chance. Now if you take a look at the normal one, we have a 0.2%, and then the shimmers, they have almost 4 times lower than the normal one. Same goes for gold record. Okay, so gold record as well, same 0.22, and then the shimmer ones is at 0.05. So you really want to use these boxes wisely. I have quite a few. With each event, the boxes are different. So in the Gaul event and in the Park event, you can see some units are added, while the next event usually have more units. The Park event actually has less, so it has Mei and then ends with Koharu. This one is Mei, Koharu. This one has an additional Adrena, Daniel, Alexa, and Dalen. So when you pick these boxes, you actually want to see which one you truly need the most. If you take a look at the divinates, most of them for epics, they're all trash except for the basic stats. So if you use that unit like a bunch of times, maybe Renzi is only really used for Sonica, and that's about it. So I would say his divinate is not worth it to go for, even when you get it from this box. Just get it from Gold Record and the divinate pools, and then don't even use the box, because there's another use of the box that you can use. And then the rest is pretty shit, right? The rest of the epics, the divinate doesn't really add much to them unless they are a DPS. If your steward is already one-shotting, you don't need his divinate. So what I'm using these boxes for is I take a look at the materia lab, because in PvP, stats has no cap. You need as much stats as possible, because you don't know who you're up against, right? Whereas in PvE, you know what you're up against. You can tune your relics, or just retry as much as possible to succeed. Whereas in PvP, you only have 1 try per opponent and stuff like that. So with this note right here, ally defense increases in point war. For me to go to level 2, I either need to build my Embla with Divinate, or I give my Catherine Divinate once. So with the box, I'm actually going to give Catherine's Divinate, even though the Divinate is pretty trash. When I take a look at the rest of the Divinate, they don't really add anything to me. Emma is really good, but you can get her Divinate in the next event, most likely, because Emma, from now on, she will be added in the event box Divinate. So in the next event, because if I'm not mistaken, this event also gives you an Emma Divinate in the flow box. So you can just wait for the next event to get for Emma's Divinate. And with this box currently that we get, you can get for shimmer epics that you don't have to fill the spot in the materia research lab. I'm just going to get a Catherine and then unlock the thingy in the materia research lab. Okay, so I've unlocked Catherine's Divinate. I can go into the materia research lab, go to that node. Now my node is level 2, and then I think it goes up to 7. Yep, now I need 7 esper, so I need to build all of them as well. So the next box, I'm probably gonna get like Divinate 3 for Catherine. RGB boxes, or the Flow, Wind, and Inferno boxes, you can actually just pick the ones that need like Divinate 3 for the materia research lab, because Divinate system for the epics are pretty trash. They only add stats, and it's only useful for DPS characters, not so much for like the supports, because they don't really have anything good on the effects. So most of the time you're only going to go for DPS, and DPS epics have been significantly fallen off even in PvE. Chloe has been subbed out for almost every content at this point if you have the legendary DPS characters. And then another thing that you can do with these boxes is that if you don't have any units that you can go for to fill the spot in the materia research lab, don't go for them. Like for example, this box right here, I have no one to go for Like none of them are worth it, except for maybe Renzi if I want to improve my Sonica score. But anything past like Divinate 3, I don't think is worth it. Divinate 4 actually is sort of worth it, because from Divinate 3 to Divinate 4, it gives you a total of 10%. So Divinate 3, you don't get any basic stats, right? 0% basic stats except for this one. But when you go to Divinate 4, you actually get a flat 10%. And then from 4 to 5, you only get an increment of 5. And then 5 to 6 also 5. So if you want to go for like maybe Divinate 4, maybe just go for Divinate 4 and then stop there for the epics. But if you don't have any, you know, useful units that you use, especially in PvP, not so much for like PvE. If you use like Emma in PvE, then go for a box. But if you don't use like any of these epics for PvE, don't even use this box. Wait until you have everything, every Divinate 6 out of 6, and then get 500 Nexus Crystals, because there's no rush in getting these useless Divinates, because you're not going to use them. You can max out the character through gold record or Divinate pools, and then with this box, it's just going to give you 500 Nexus Crystals. Let's say, right, you have all of this maxed out except for Ggez. If you give the Ggez Divinate system, are you even going to use him? No, right? So don't even give the Divinate to any of these useless characters. Wait until you have them maxed out, and then use it to, you know, to get 500 Nexus Crystals. And that's what I've been doing for the Inferno and Win boxes, because none of this give me value except for maybe Jacob. I need to get him to Divinate 3 for the Materia Research Lab so that I can level up one by level. But I'm gonna wait for a while, because it's no rush to level him up to Divinate 3 right now, because I need another unit that to max out. Make sure you guys are using these boxes wisely and not just giving them because you can give it to them. If you don't have to use the Divinate box on anyone, then don't even use it, so you can get 500 Nexus Crystals for free. But yeah, that's about it. Ciao.